Welcome back to another episode of your Wellness Friend podcast, your go-to place every Wednesday for gut health tips, real talk, and wellness wins you can actually stick to. I'm your host, Francis, certified wellness coach and your personal guide to feeling amazing in your body, especially if you had your gallbladder removed, dealing with digestive issues, or just want to stop feeling like your food is the enemy. If this show has helped you in any way, would you do me a quick favor? Leave me a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. It helps more women like you find this show and start feeling better, faster. And if you're ready to take the next step, head over to my website to learn more about working with me one-on-one. Let's grab your matcha and let's dive in. Hi, ladies. Okay, so we are back. It is crazy. I decided to, as I said in my last episode, I pick a day and I release it there, and I do the podcast just to make it easier because I do have a 9-to-5 job. So this is my baby and I take this really seriously and I'm really enjoying the process. So with that being said, I kind of sat down and was like, all right, let's get this going. Today, currently in Florida, it has been raining. It has been raining pretty much this whole summer. So the sunshine state of Florida is not always sun and shining. There during our summertime, it does rain a lot. So as I'm sitting here beautifully relaxing in my home and hearing the thunder and listening to the rain, it got me thinking. It got me thinking about how all these years ago, definitely when I was a bit younger and living in New York and constantly in the hustle and bustle of it all, I used to struggle a lot with sleep. And the one thing that I've come to realize on this journey that I'm on with my wellness and with my whole lifestyle changing is how important sleep really, really is. Not only is sleep great when you're younger, but of course, as we get older, it really does help with just about everything, to be honest, just about everything. So you know what? Let's go ahead and make an episode about just how we sleep and how people struggle. People really struggle with sleeping. And it's something that has been around for a while and so many people don't think about it. And they don't think about it because the culture that we live in right now, it's like people say pretty often, I'll sleep when I'm dead. And I used to say that. I was one of those people. Now that I think about that, I'm like, what? No, I do not want to be rushing and being so busy that I don't have a chance to really appreciate life. So it actually makes me think about a sermon I had seen by Holly Furtick. And I believe it was during her woman's revival that she does every year. So if you had a chance, definitely look it up on YouTube. It's a great, great sermon. And she speaks about a story on how when she was younger and she was doing like a family event and the father was always rush, rush, rush. And the story, I'm going to just kind of make like a cliff note of it, but the story itself just pretty much talks about how her and her family went on this safari style event or family trip. And the father was so rushing to get to the end of the actual trail that they missed so much. Definitely she breaks it down in more details and it's a great, great story. And it really gives you that aha moment. And that's something that I can really relate to because when I was, younger and I lived in New York and I was, living that New York lifestyle, it was always looked as like something to be proud of. Like I could multitask. I could do all these things. I could do so much in the 24 hours that I have. And the reality is, no, I was burning myself out. I was making things worse. I was rising my cortisol level to such a high intensity that I was actually doing myself damage more than anything else. Again, yeah, just thinking that. I mean, I used to think like not sleeping was just part of being a busy woman. I would literally lie awake for hours and then I would drag the next day. I will start my day off with coffee and I'm like, oh, I can't function without coffee. And honestly, coffee is, and I know you girls come at me and I'm sorry about it, but coffee is really bad for you. If you have a time and you have a second to look into it, please do. Yeah, coffee just has a lot. That's a whole other episode. But yeah, I mean, besides that, the lack of sleep kicks in cravings. And what the worst part is that I realized that by not sleeping, by having lack of just actual good long 8 hours of sleep, it affected my weight, it affected my mood, and it affected my hormones. And until I actually started making some real changes, that's when I wound up seeing how important the sleep portion of my self-care was really needed, really truly needed. So ladies, if you struggle with falling asleep, if you struggle staying asleep, or you're like waking up tired, then hang on. This episode is really going to be for you. I'm going to break down how to really find out what the cause of your sleep issues are, and then give you some practical, natural strategies to really get you back into your mind and your body, just craving for a nice, natural sleep. So as I said before, I'm really into kind of just cutting things down. So giving you ladies just 3 simple steps to getting the best results. And that's what we're going to do today. So for number 1, for example, why sleep matters more than you think. So sleep really isn't just about energy. A lot of people think that if I sleep, I'll just wake up energized and that's great. That's all I really need. It really is not. There are actually more crucial things that are really based on sleeping. Your body heals. We actually have in our studio, in the wellness studio that I work for, my 9 to 5, we have what we call a mild oxygen chamber. And that chamber itself is what I use to I have clients there who go in, who've had any ailments, who've had surgery, who've had just need to recover. And that's what happens. I really tell them, I'm like, this is kind of, because we give them an oxygen like tube to put in their nose, and you're just relaxing for 1 hour. And yes, you could take your phone, and yeah, you could take a book, but a lot of the times the clients will go in there and they will fall asleep because you're just getting pure oxygen in the body. And what I kind of like to use for as an example is that I tell them, God forbid, or we've seen on TV that if anybody gets hurt severely, they'll put them in a medicated coma. And the reason for that is because your body needs to rest to heal. And granted, that's a little dramatic, but that's kind of how when I break it down to clients, they're like, oh, okay, that makes sense to me. So sleeping is really is a natural way of your body healing. Not only that, as I said before, I'm in my 40s. A lot of my clients are in between that 35 to 55 range, and the hormones have to reset. So when we sleep, it helps the hormone to balance itself out. And what it does is that it helps with cortisol, estrogen, and then melatonin. So it really kind of just helps balance and reset everything. And besides that, we have digestive repair. So that is something that, because I am a gallbladder / gut health coach, I do focus on both, because it does have a large direct link to increasing cravings and weight gain. So by having your digestive system kind of just all over the place, it does affect those things. And of course, as I said before, it also affects your mood swings and your anxiety. So if you're not sleeping well, your body is pretty much stuck in survival mode, and that affects everything. It really does. So another thing, number 2, would be what really is the cause of your sleep struggles, right? Because a lot of people think I could get into bed, I could do the nighttime routine, and I'll lay in bed and I will stare up the ceiling and I will not fall asleep. I just won't. My body just keeps on going. My mind keeps on thinking, and I just can't seem to really, quote unquote, rest. And the reason for that is because of a few things. So for example, your body could just be in its high cortisol, happens at night. And that happens from stress. It happens from blood sugar crashes. So that's why we say not to have anything too caffeinated close to the nighttime. Anybody who really knows me knows that once like 4 o'clock hits, I cannot take anything caffeinated. And if I do, it's really, really minimal, because I will be up. I will be up until 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, because my cortisone is fully functioning and on like its nightclub mode, and my body just will not go to sleep. And besides that, you also have your hormone shifting. So for, like I said before, I'm in my 40, I'm going to be 46 this year. So I'm already in my premenopause. So not only do we have premenopause, we also have menopause, and that actually affects sleep pretty often. And of course, as I go back to what I was saying about the caffeine, when we're overstimulating our nervous system, your body cannot relax. sitting down, doing multiple things before you're getting ready to go to sleep. Just jumping around and saying, okay, I have to do this before I even get, and then it's like you stop and then go to sleep. No, you need a time buffer between when you're sitting there doing your task and you actually closing your eyes to sleep. And then, of course, this is something that I actually did recently. And I would say probably over the last maybe 5 years or so, I actually removed the TV from my room. And if it is in my room, I really don't have it on because I just prefer to kind of keep the screens away so that therefore my body can and my mind can actually just start winding down. My phone goes into sleep mode. I have it scheduled to go into sleep mode. And I even have it where my lights actually change color around a certain time. So that's a really big thing as well. And another thing, to be honest, would be nutrient deficiencies. So magnesium and vitamin B are the two most common deficiencies that contribute to sleep struggles. So women who are over 40, they often experience like a drop in progesterone. And that's really our calming hormone, which can make it harder for us ladies to really relax and fall asleep. So due to that, we really need to make sure that we are putting in the proper things in place. So when it's time for us to go to sleep, it just happens a little bit more naturally. And then again, to kind of jump into the natural, because again, I love natural ways. I live that lifestyle. I'm very holistic as much as possible. And things such as a magnesium supplement or an Epsom salt bath, that can really help to calm the nervous system. It helps to support digestion and it helps reduce the muscle tension. So again, as we're older and our muscles start to hurt, kind of back in a few episodes previous, I was mentioning how, once I hit 30, my body really changed and my muscles started to hurt. And just getting out of the bed was really a struggle. Getting out of bed, I have to do it in stages. Applying or adding Epsom salt baths and adding, magnesium supplements into my nighttime routine has really, really helped. And it really helped my body to signal like I'm safe. I could rest. I'm not in that fight or flight. I see my body as, okay, now we're calm, we're relaxed. Now we could shut down. We could take a breather. We could feel safe. We could feel at ease. And as some people may find that to be very silly, it really does make a tremendous difference. It really does affect. So I really encourage you ladies, take some time and do that. Pick one day a week and just apply that. Really give it a try. Another big thing I also did was I changed my eating times, right? So, I would stop eating before bed, at least an hour before bed. I would really try not to have any major meals so that my blood sugar would balance out before bed. So if I had any meals, or say, for example, if I got hungry, because in the beginning, my body was retraining itself. I had to reteach my body a lot of habits. So I used to, okay, cool, watch my favorite show, and I would grab cookies, cakes, sodas, ice cream. I would have those things right before bed because I'm watching a show and I'm just watching a TV show and kind of zoning out and just doing my thing. And what I realized is that all of that food, mostly sugary food, sadly, most of that food I was having right before bed. So my body was never calming down. So what I would do is that if I was sitting down to have a snack, while I'm watching a show, just kind of unwinding. And that's in that way, I would do a small protein plus a fat snack, such as I would have almond butter on like a rice cake, or I would take turkey and I would roll them up and I would just nibble on that with some nuts. And that helped for me to still have that hand to mouth motion while I was watching something. But at the same time, it helped my body to understand that it wasn't sugary. I was able to process it and I would prevent really my blood sugar from dipping. Because when you wake up between the hours of 2 and 3 a.m., 9 out of 10 time, what happened is because your blood sugar dipped and your body wakes up and you're like, oh, wait, I need to have a drink of water or I need to use the bathroom or something like that. Your body just wakes up naturally. How does it work that way? We'll leave it up to God because I'm not too sure. It's very, very common. It's very, very common in regards to that. And that, as you ladies know, because I've mentioned a few times, I'm all about the research. So that's where I got that from. And of course, it happened to myself as well. But really kind of like a recap, that's really what I did. I stopped watching any screens 60 minutes before bed. I really just kind of shut everything off. What I've really got into, which it took some time and I had to find my own way, is I started doing herbal teas. I would put my diffuser on at night. And I would also go ahead and do like a light stretch. I would do some light stretching, nothing crazy. I would take some massage oil, or I would just take some lotion, sit calmly at the edge of my bed and just stretch my neck, stretch my back, stretch my legs, just get some blood flowing. And that honestly helped so much. And it costs nothing, ladies. It costs nothing to do that. Because what happened is that the goal when you're first starting out is to train your body to expect the rest. You have to train your body to be like, okay, it is bedtime. This is the bedtime routine that Frances is doing, which means that my nervous system can start relaxing, which means that I'm safe, and which means that I can start getting rest. And that is something that is the most important when you're just starting off on your journey. You have to unteach your body, your mind, and your soul how to do things that you've been doing for maybe years, maybe decades. You have to go ahead and start training your body to relax. Once you do that, then your natural rhythm will kick in and everything will be so much easier. I have clients who have been off of their sleep for like 3 months or more. They're like, okay, something is off. I can't get myself right. I have clients that start off that way. When we do our discovery call, I'm like, okay, this first thing I ask, how many hours of sleep do you get? And a lot of them are like 2, 3. I wake up very often. I don't have routine, so on and so forth. So that's when I personally start to suspect you definitely have hormone imbalance. You definitely have some gut issues. You definitely have some chronic stress. And a really big kind of red light or a red flag, I guess you could say, is that if they tell me I've slept 8 hours, but yet when I wake up, I'm still exhausted. You really do deserve to get your sleep, to really get into a deep sleep when possible. So that's why your whole body, your mind, your gut, your hormones can balance out. You deserve to be in a state of your mind where it's more than just push through. It's more than you just getting up and saying, okay, let me just push through today because I didn't get too much hours of sleep and it's normal because that's just how it is. So let me just push through today. That should not be a reason for you to ignore getting a proper amount of sleep. It's not something you're making up, ladies. It's actually something that can be fixed with the proper steps and the proper help. And that's why I love to help my clients with this as much as I possibly can. Now, I definitely got some feedback from my last few episodes, and I've had clients actually say, I love when you kind of speak on some questions that we've had. So for example, I will go ahead. So I'm thinking about moving this forward. Maybe probably have like part of like a little segment, which is like questions that the clients ask me. So I have a client who asks me like, why can't I sleep even when I'm tired? And I tell them it's due to high cortisol, it's due to blood sugar instability. It's due to your hormone shift. It's sometimes even due to poor sleep hygiene. And what happened is that going ahead and starting to implement stress reduce actions or routine and really working on your nutrition before bed will make a giant difference. And that's what I help my clients with. And another thing that I have clients ask is that what helps women sleep better naturally? Because a lot of the clients that I do have really are seeking a more holistic, natural approach to their life change. They're tired of doing the fabs. They're tired of trying all the pills and trying all of the quick fix. And I tell them magnesium, some good protein rich snacks, a calm bedtime routine, and really getting some good hormone support like guided meditation or guided relaxation methods. That really helps tremendously. And it's natural and it's nothing that's going to hurt you in any kind of way. So, ladies, I want to say thank you. This has been another great episode. I want to remind you all your body was designed to rest and restore. It's just waiting for the right support. So don't ignore your sleeping struggles. You're not lazy. you're not crazy. You're just running on empty. And you know what? It's time to refill that tank. It's time to refill it with positive, encouraging, holistic, natural things. And you will see a tremendous difference with that. This is why I love what I do. This is why I love the clients that I have, because being able to help women get to that point of being relaxed and just resetting their body and changing their lifestyle naturally, and then being able to stay consistent and stay with that for years to come, there's nothing better. So I definitely want to invite you guys to visit my website. I actually have a free sleep support checklist that's going to be filled with tips, supplements, and nighttime routine that actually work, that I actually share with my clients. And if you're ready to get a deeper support, book a call with me. We'll love to go ahead and do a discovery call so that we can create a personalized plan to help you sleep better, help you feel better, and finally to wake up rested. So again, ladies, thank you so much. It was an absolute pleasure speaking with you guys. I'm so looking forward to still doing these episodes. And please leave a review. Please leave a comment on this episode. Let me know what you want to hear more about. I definitely want to make sure that the episodes that I'm doing are really going to be tailored to just questions that you may have. So please do me a favor, just leave those comments. That'd be great. And as I said before, it's been an absolute blessing. Thank you so much, ladies, and we'll talk soon. God bless.